Hello there, welcome to Tribo Bike Tech. Today I would like to show you why is it so important to properly adjust the length of the chain on a full suspension bike in order to avoid rather nasty surprises. I presume that your derailleur flying off into the sunset and you walking back to the start of your ride is rather nasty. What you see here is a typical retro 2x9 drivetrain. It is retro because, well, one bike took over, so this is very 2012. Anyhow, chain rings are 35-21 and the cassette is almost roadworthy 11-28. The overall gear range is rather low, so I can barely get away with using a short catch derailleur. The guideline for setting the chain length for any bicycle is rather simple. You have to route the chain through the big ring, the big cog on the back, and once you have a full loop of chain, add 2 additional links. The result of the process is the shortest length of chain that is required to route it through the entire drivetrain. This rule, however, fails for full suspension bikes because it implicitly assumes that the chainstay length, which is the distance between the rear axle and the bottom bracket, is constant. However, for majority of full suspension frames, this is not the case. Also, for majority of such frames, chainstays are the shortest when the suspension is fully extended, like it is here. As you can see, the derailleur cage is about 45 degrees to the chainstay, and the chain is tight. Not too tight, just tight. Its length actually has been set using the guideline before. Now, let's compress the suspension. As you can see, as the frame moves through its travel, the derailleur cage has to rotate to accommodate the lengthening of the chainstays. This is because, for majority of frames, the chainstay are the longest when the frame is fully compressed. So, the further you are in travel, the longer the chainstay. For this particular bike, I lucked out. If it had a smidgen more of chainstay growth, then I would need to compensate for it by using a longer chain, and that might also need a longer cage on the derailleur. And we all know that derailleurs with shortest cages are most stylish, which is very important. If this problem was not corrected or was allowed to persist, if it happened at all, then what most likely would happen would be a catastrophic failure. Either the derailleur would get torn off the bike, or the chain would snap, or the hanger of the derailleur would get broken. In some cases, however, this may lead to a much more annoying problem, which is the derailleur hanger being slightly bent, which causes all kinds of problems with shifting and brings in the danger of the derailleur being pushed into the spokes at some point. To avoid this problem, it is best to follow the big rule, the big ring, big cog on the rear +2, as I outlined before, when the suspension is fully compressed, like this. Or if you want to be really strict, when the suspension is at its travel, when the chainstay is the longest. However, as I said before, that's most likely at full compression. By doing that, you make sure that the horror scenario outlined before just cannot happen. And with that in mind, I hope you found this video informative. Thank you for your attention, and see you on the next one.